The Apex Legends patch notes for the Lost Treasures event has finally gone live, and after looking at these patch notes, it seems like there has been a complete change and mix up in the meta, and it seems like almost every single legend has received a change in this update. Let's jump straight into the video. Welcome everyone, my name is Mirko, and today we're going to go over all of the legend and weapon changes in the new Lost Treasures event update. We're not going to go over things like bug fixes, but if you guys do want to check that out, there'll be a link down below in the description. You guys can see all of the bug fixes and the more boring stuff that Apex Legends have done. But let's start with the legend changes, because oh my god, I was going through these patch notes and I nearly had a heart attack, guys. There has been so many changes for legends, and we're just going to start off right now because otherwise this video is going to be about 20 minutes long. Okay, so we're going to start off with legends and then we're going to move over to weapons. So the first huge change, which we all expected, was Lifeline. Lifeline's passive is now Combat Revive, and it replaces the previous Combat Medic. And it says here, deploy a Doc to revive teammates. Doc will deploy a shield and revive Lifeline's teammates, leaving Lifeline free to defend or revive someone else, which is something we saw in the Apex Legends Lost Treasures trailer, and that's something we all expected coming to this update, and this is going to be huge, especially in ranked mode. Lifeline could be the new meta in ranked mode, who knows. This fully replaces Lifeline's old passive, including fast heal, so Lifeline's no longer going to have the fast heal, but it's replaced by this instead, which I think is much more effective for Lifeline. Now if we go over to Lifeline's tactical ability, her cooldown is now 45 seconds. It was 60 seconds previously, so this is another huge buff to her tactical as well. And if we go over her ultimate, Lifeline's care package now contains more items than previously. Care package will contain 3 times more small healing items when it decides to spawn small healing items, which is good because now it means you can supply more to your teammates. And the previous ultimate ability wasn't very team based, it was more whoever was the fastest looter, let's be honest, but now I guess it's better for teammates, and this is what Lifeline is all about. Care package will also contain 2 times more attachments when it decides to spawn attachments as well, which is really awesome. This is a very huge buff for Lifeline, probably the hugest legend buff we've got so far, but you guys haven't seen Octane yet. Oh yes, let's move straight over to Octane. So Octane's tacticals received a huge change. Upon activation, Stim will remove movement impairing effects. During your movement, there are some times where your character feels slow, maybe when it's just started running or just slowed down. I believe that's what it means, but we're just gonna have to wait and see until we actually get hands on to using Octane. And the Stim sprinting speed has been increased by 10% as well, which means you're going to be able to strafe 10% faster when using the Stim when you're trying to shoot enemies, which could be quite overpowered. We're gonna have to wait and see. Now the ultimate is the biggest change for Octane, and oh my god, I've been waiting for this for so many months now, and so many people have requested this feature. Players can now double jump in mid-air after using Octane's launchpad. Yes, the Apex gods has finally gifted us with this feature, something we've been requesting for I think about 7-8 months. Players can change direction easily from the double jump as well. Now this has changed, the ultimate ability will actually become effective for Octane, so I'm really looking forward to see how you'll be able to double jump, if it's going to be that much of a boost when you do the second jump. I'm really looking forward to see how that goes. But if we move straight over to Revenant's tactical ability will now cancel Pathfinder during his mid grapple. So if Pathfinder's grappling somewhere and halfway through his grapple, Revenant throws his tactical, then it will just cancel Pathfinder's grapple completely, which is a very huge thing. Wraith's mid phase walk attempt before phase walk activates as well, that will also be cancelled if Revenant uses his tactical. And the tactical will now prevent Mirage cloaked revive, Mirage decoy control activation, and Lifeline's combat revive as well. The ultimate is a very huge buff indeed, because the range has been completely removed of the death totem, so you haven't got to worry about going outside of the circle. You can now go as far as you want and you'll still remain in your death totem, which is a very huge buff for Revenant and something I can agree on. Now for Crypto, his tactical ability deploying hack, which is Crypto's drone, now takes 1.5 seconds instead of 2.5 seconds, and for the ultimate, the EMP will now disable Watson's pylons. This is a very small buff I think for Crypto, it's not a huge buff, but it's nice to see that Crypto's received some sort of love in this update. Now if we move over to Loba, her tactical ability Burglar's Best Friend will no longer be intercepted by Watson's interception pylon. And if we look at the ultimate ability, Black Market Boutique, the ultimate, will now only pick up 1 stack of ammo rather than 1 stack plus the amount that was required to fill whatever partial stack you had in your inventory. That's just so complicated. The ultimate accelerants now give 20% ultimate charge, up from 17.5 as well. Not a very huge change for Loba, but it's definitely a noticeable change indeed. If we move over to Mirage and start with the tactical ability, you can now hold the tactical ability and release the auto control decoys. The passive ability for Mirage has also changed. When cloaked, Mirage's hollow emitters will be visible to players that are less than 5 meters away, and with the skydive you now create decoys for the entire squad when skydiving and still diving with your squad. This will come into effect really well when you're going to places like bunker as well, that it now creates decoys for the entire squad. So that's a very good buff for Mirage. Move over to Gibby. Not much has changed, but the fast heal inside the dome has changed from 25% to now 15%, which is a slight nerf for Gibby, but not a huge nerf. And if we move over to Caustic, enemies can cancel Caustic's barrel by shooting it before it is fully inflated. Now, I don't think this is a very huge nerf for Caustic. I was expecting something much bigger because Caustic has been stressing the hell out of me, and I'm literally gritting my teeth when I say that. But now I guess when Caustic's gas has been thrown, you can quickly destroy it before it becomes fully inflated, which is good, but I'm not really feeling it. I hope Caustic gets another nerf in the near future, because at the moment, especially in ranked mode in the late stage, it becomes impossible playing against a Caustic player. Watson's received some huge changes. Watson's pylons now last for 90 seconds. Watson can now have up to 3 pylons out at a time, and she can stack 2 ultimate accelerants per inventory slot. Wraith has received a very huge change. We knew that Wraith was going to get a nerf. The devs did warn us. Now, how big of a nerf has she received? Let's take a look. So the phase walk now takes 1.25 seconds to enable. It was 0.4 seconds. So that's the time in which your tactical ability actually works and you go into the phase. During this time, Wraith will receive a 20% move slow. And this is a big nerf. It might not seem like it, but 1.25 seconds is such a huge jump compared to 0.4 seconds. And the devs did say that they didn't want her tactical ability to be a get out of jail free card. They wanted her tactical ability to be used more for getting into good positions and not to just have a second chance. This does not affect phase walk whilst placing down a phase portal. While in phase walk, Wraith now gets 35% move speed boost, which is a bit of a buff, but let's take a look at the rest. While in phase walk, Wraith can now see other players while in the void. Phase walk now lasts 4 seconds from 3 seconds, and phase walk cooldown is now down to 25 from 35 seconds. And with the phase tunnel, it's been decreased distance for portal placement by 25%. So I think the biggest change and the biggest thing we're going to notice is that phase walk now taking 1.25 seconds to enable instead of 0.4 seconds. I thought they were going to nerf Wraith a lot more than this, so I'm kind of happy because I'm a Wraith main and just happy to see that she hasn't been completely battered and destroyed in this update. Wraith survives again. Now if we take a look at weapons / loot, the first thing is zip lines. A cooldown will be applied to re-grappling on zip lines without touching the ground, which is something we've never had before. The cooldown will increase with each time a player disconnects and re-grabs the zip line. The cooldown will reset when the player touches the ground. So that's going to change up how we use zip lines, but let's move over to the Havoc, the most controversial weapon in Apex Legends. And finally, I think they've put the Havoc to bed, guys. If we take a look here, what they've done, they've greatly increased horizontal recoil in the initial shots of a burst, which is already, I think that's already the biggest nerf they've had to do to the Havoc. The reason why the Havoc is so good is because it mainly just has vertical recoil going upwards with very slight horizontal recoil, but now they've added this horizontal recoil. It's going to make it very hard for the Havoc to be controllable. They've also decreased the magazine size from 32 to 28, and honestly, just because of the horizontal recoil there, I think the Havoc is going to be a very hard weapon to use compared to what we're used to, and it could mean more players start switching it up and start using other weapons, which is what the developers want. That's why they've nerfed this gun, because at the moment most people are choosing to use the Havoc over other guns in this game. The Sentinels also received a change. The rechamber time has gone from 1.75 to 1.6. The energized duration has gone from 90 to 120. I don't use a Sentinel all that much, but I know a lot of you guys watching my videos do and would be interested in that information. And just some extra changes they've added in this update. Teammates can now ping friendly caustic trap, which we couldn't do before. New health bar for when users are in Revenant's shadow form. and map rotation times are now even between Kings Canyon and World's Edge, which I'm really happy about because I think I prefer World's Edge over Kings Canyon, and now it's evened out. We can play and enjoy both in an even spread, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm going to wrap this video up here. There are a lot of things to look forward to. The meta's going to be completely changed come this update, and I'm really excited. If you enjoyed today's video, as always, be sure to scroll down, give this video a like so it gets recommended to more people. Be sure you subscribe to the channel if you're currently not, and as always, I'll catch all of you guys out in another brand new Apex Legends video.